Hey, this is Will. So in this video, I will explain some of the main differences you need to understand between Activecampaign and Convertkit. These are, I would say, pretty different email marketing software. So it really depends what exactly you want for your specific business when deciding which platform to use, and that's what I'll try to explain. I do have another video on my main channel where I compare all of the email marketing software, so I will leave a link down below. Definitely check that video out. There are some really good softwares as well, depending on what you need, that might suit you better than these two. Also, I do have special discounts and bonuses for all of the softwares that I mentioned, so again, all of the links down below in the description. And every single week I give out one of my courses completely for free, so just press thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel to enter the competition. Now let's jump straight into the video. So first of all, let's start out with automations because I think automations are probably the most important feature. So when it comes to Activecampaign, I would say Activecampaign is probably the most advanced in terms of automations. And I'm not going to go through all of that because a lot of these different things that you can do with these platforms, they are sort of the same on both of them. But some of the things that you need to pay attention to, what Activecampaign has and Convertkit doesn't have, is this split. So basically, let's say we are going through your automation and you send out an email and you want to then test out, and you want to basically take your list and you want to A/B test it, split test it. So you want to divide the list and send maybe a little bit different emails, just have different body or different heading, whatever it is. You want to see what is going to perform better. So within automation, you can set up split testing with Activecampaign, which is very, very powerful feature. Also, aside from that, you can go through all of these different things, but as you can see here in terms of actions, something that you don't have. So with Convertkit, you can send out emails, but here you can also send with Activecampaign, send site messages, send SMS, send a notification email. So these are some of the things as well that not everyone is going to use, but just to keep in mind that this is something Activecampaign has that Convertkit doesn't have. Another very important difference when it comes to automations is that, as you can see in this automation, we send out an email to our list and we can set a condition. So in this case, we set a condition that has opened any campaign, or well, we can set that it has opened, let's say, a specific campaign within this list. So let's say this campaign here. And basically what this means is that we are going to move people to different paths depending on whether they open an email or not. So sometimes, let's say you send out an email, and for those people who didn't open the email, you might want to wait a day or two and you want to send out that same email, because some of those people that didn't open the email the first time, they are going to open the second time. And this is something that Convertkit doesn't have, and I really don't know why they don't have this feature, because it is such a necessary feature. And what they have instead of that, actually, when it comes to automations, they have kind of similar looking interface, but instead of having these conditions, so here we have a condition of, let's say someone clicked on an email or they open an email, it's some sort of trigger basically. Whereas here we have this tab for conditions, but when it comes to conditions, we can basically just, let's delete this condition and let's insert a new condition. And as you can see here, you have conditions to advanced filter, custom field, and tag. So instead of having a trigger that, okay, someone clicked a link or someone opened an email or didn't click a link, didn't open an email, you can assign a tag to someone. And then basically you can go to the rules, and in the rules you can create different triggers. And here we have a trigger that someone has clicked a link, you put in the link, and then there's some sort of action. So if we're going through this automation and then we set up this tag, that means that, okay, someone has clicked a link, then that person from that automation is going to be taken into a different automation wherever we set up here that they are going to be taken to. So I do get that Convertkit tried to do this because this can kind of save up some time, because a lot of times, let's say we might have same email within different automations, but then we want to basically those people to follow the exact same step. If they click on that link, perhaps we want to send them out another same sequences of those emails. So it does make sense that it saves time, but for me, this just seems that it's something that overcomplicates things, and I would much rather like to just see what's happening right here, like I do with Activecampaign. I can see exactly, okay, someone has, let's say, clicked on a specific link within an email, and they are going to go down this path. Someone hasn't, then they're going to go down this path, and I see everything in one place. Whereas I don't do that with, I can't do that with Convertkit. So that is one of the things that I don't quite get, and it's a little bit annoying personally. I mean, some people actually prefer maybe to have those rules. I see where it can benefit you, but again, just see, I don't know, it really depends on your own preference, but for me, that's something that I don't really like. And again, the thing is, when it comes to the actual rules, you only have a certain amount of the rules. So if you try to add a new rule, you will see we have a rule of subscribes to sequence, subscribes to a form, clicks, tag added, tag removed. So there's no trigger of open or non-open emails. So this is one of the things that I would say Convertkit definitely lacks. That I really wish they had, because then basically we can send out emails again to some of the people that didn't open the emails, or if they didn't open the emails, maybe we don't want to send out the same email, but maybe we want to treat them in a different way. Perhaps we want to give them out some sort of discount or something like that. So it's a little bit disappointing that Convertkit doesn't have that. Another thing that is very specific about Activecampaign is that they have all of these different automations. They call them recipes, but basically recipes are just sort of sequences of automations that are pre-made, pre-created. So you can just choose a sequence, a recipe, and then this whole automation flow is going to be put in for you. And they do have a lot of these recipes. They actually have 500 plus. And you can see here they have this list of all of the different things, what you can do. But just to give you an example, it really depends on your specific business how you can apply this. But for example, here we have share a campaign on social media incentive. So for example, you can set up an automation where you have within an email, you have call to action for someone to share your content or whatever it is on their social media. And Activecampaign actually tracks whether they did that, and if they did that, then they trigger that they send out another email to that subscriber, or whatever exactly you set up. They can also add certain tags for that subscriber, whatever it is, but let's say you can send out additional email to that subscriber then automatically once they share your content on their social media. And you can give them, let's say, a discount, you can give them some sort of freebie, whatever it is. So this is an automation that's already made and available on Activecampaign. And this is something that you honestly might be getting a separate app usually to do these kind of things, but Activecampaign already has that. Another example here is you can see invite followers basically to follow you when they are referred from a specific social media site. So if someone found you through Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, you can ask them then, basically you trigger this automation that sends them out an email automatically asking them to follow you on that specific platform because you know that that's how they discovered you. So again, something that is very, very powerful, but at the same time, you have to keep in mind that not all of these automations are going to apply for you. So you can actually, without even creating an account, you can go to Activecampaign Marketplace and they have all of these different recipes. So you can go through these recipes and you can see for yourself whether you find something that you think is going to be beneficial for your own business. But definitely they do have a lot of very interesting and very advanced stuff that can be very beneficial for the business. So next, when it comes to landing pages, so Activecampaign has this landing page builder that is very simple to use. And just to tell you something that's a little bit different for Activecampaign compared to Convertkit, first of all, they have these blocks here on the side, so you can choose what kind of sections you want to add, what kind of different blocks you want to add. Whereas with GetResponse, it's a little bit different again. They do like to do things a bit different. So instead of having these blocks on the side, basically you have this plus icon here, and from here you can add all of the different content pieces, which I don't know why they did it like that. I honestly prefer to have the blocks on the side, but I mean, this is not a huge deal because it still basically does exactly the same function. What is important and what annoys me a little bit with GetResponse is that, for example, here we added this image, and usually you would just have this little thing where you can just drag the image and you can resize it easily. Whereas here we can press on the image and then we can choose, okay, we want this image to be smaller and we want it maybe on the left or on the right, but we can't quite choose where exactly we want this image to be. And that is just very constraining and honestly very annoying. Whereas if we look at Activecampaign, for example, here we have an image and we can resize the image. So we can resize the image, as you can see easily. I can drag and resize the image however I want it. So that just makes, I think, the whole process just much faster and easier. And also we can move it around here. So it does have some restrictions. We can't move it outside. As you can see now, I'm trying to move this behind the text, but I can't move it out of here. But still, within this block, I can move the image where I want it. So it still gives me more flexibility of how I want my landing page to be. When it comes to templates, both of the platforms do have some templates. As you can see, Activecampaign, I would say, has maybe around 30 different templates, and Convertkit has, I would say, around the same number as well. It's pretty much exactly the same. I would say the templates look maybe a little bit better on Convertkit, but again, you can just customize a little bit more when it comes to Activecampaign. All right, when it comes to opt-in forms, both of these platforms honestly are very simple, so you can customize some of the basic stuff. I would say that Activecampaign is a little bit more advanced. As you can see on Convertkit, you can basically just change the background color, the background image. When it comes to forms, both of these are honestly very basic. You can basically just change some text, image, and some of the colors. There isn't really much of a difference between the two platforms, I would say. Now, when it comes to building out newsletters, your emails that you're going to send out to people, there is a big difference, because when it comes to Activecampaign, you can create these emails that are HTML emails, meaning that you can add all of these different blocks. So if you want to, let's say, add an image, if you want to add a button, if you want to add a video, so on and so forth, they have this builder within Activecampaign. Whereas when it comes to Convertkit, they don't have that. They basically just have this plain text builder and that's it. So you're just sending out plain email as you would send to a friend, and Convertkit basically says that the deliverability is much better when you are sending out plain emails. That's why basically they say they don't have any HTML designs. I would say that there is some controversy when it comes to that. Most of the people say that the plain emails are better, but it does, I think, depend. There are some new studies saying that that might not necessarily might be the case. It's also kind of the thing that you have to consider this. If your business really needs these nice looking templates, then this is something that Convertkit doesn't have. But for most of the businesses, I would say that isn't a huge deal. Plain emails still work pretty well if you actually have good content in the emails. All right, so now some specific features for each of these platforms. So first of all, Convertkit has integrated, or well, their own e-commerce solution. So with both of these platforms, you can connect different e-commerce solutions. So if you're using Shopify or WooCommerce, whatever it is. But if you're not using any other third-party tool to do your selling, you can actually just insert your own digital products and services on Convertkit, and you can sell through the platform and accept payments through the platform. That is something that Activecampaign doesn't have. And as you can see here, just a couple of examples, you can be selling ebooks, paid newsletters, music, presets, coaching, and so on and so forth, basically whatever digital products you want to be selling. When it comes to Activecampaign, they have some really powerful features. Aside from all of the different recipes when it comes to automation, which I think is one of the things that they really stand out with. Another thing, depending again on your business, but they have this feature here when you're sending out emails, you can basically track when someone replies to an email. And this is really powerful, especially if, let's say, you are sending out cold email. Let's say you are sending out 8 different cold emails to someone, and if they reply, let's say, with the first or the second email, you want to maybe stop that automation sequence, then you can set to track replies, and then you can set up an automation what happens after. So perhaps you move that person to a different automation, or you move them to a certain group where you know that you need to take it over and do communicate with them manually. So it's very powerful because you can't do this with any other email marketing software. If you put someone in automation, they are going to keep on receiving these emails even if they already reply to you, and obviously you don't want to be doing that. And I'm not saying that you should use Activecampaign for cold email, because honestly, if you are sending out thousands of different cold emails and you don't get high open rates and you get marked as spam, you can get into a lot of trouble. But if you're doing cold email outreach where you know you will get good open rates and you're going to get a lot of replies, then you can definitely use this feature, and it can be very powerful. Another really powerful thing about Activecampaign is that you have this subscriber scoring. So basically you can create all of these different conditions, but just to show you one example, for example, let's say we want to see if someone has visited a specific URL on our website, and we can set here, for example, I said from 2 to 5 times. We're going to give them a certain amount of points. So basically then we know that, okay, this person is very active going to these specific pages. So then once they reach a certain score, perhaps we can put them in a certain automation and send them out certain emails because we know they are going to convert better. So basically this is something that allows you to get a lot more advanced, targeting people that are specifically interested in certain things. Another thing with Activecampaign is you have this tracking feature. And what this means is basically you can add a little bit of code to your website, and then you can perform different actions based on what users do on your website. So for example, if a person visits a specific page, let's say they visit a service page on your website, you can put them automatically into automation that is going to send them out emails on those specific services. So this is really powerful, because instead of sending generic emails to every single person, here you can see if a person visited a specific page, you're sending them emails specifically about those things. And this feature alone, I think, is something that could make you consider Activecampaign. Another thing to keep in mind, and this is not going to apply for everyone's business, but do keep in mind that Activecampaign as well has a CRM feature. So if you're dealing with clients, you have this feature here where you can add all of the different people that you're dealing with. You can add all of the tasks, the budget, so on and so forth. And for example, here you can also, if you're working with a team, you can tell your team, okay, we need to contact this client here, or we are already in contact with this client, perhaps we need to follow up, so on and so forth. So basically, customer relationship tool that is already integrated in Activecampaign, and actually none of the other email marketing tools have this. So when it comes to overall ease of use and user interface, I do have to give some props to Convertkit. I do think they have really nice user interface, and it is very simple to use for majority of the steps. The only problem, as I said, I have a little bit with automation and creating rules. I think that is something that has a little bit more of a learning step compared to Activecampaign and the way they do things. I think it is a little bit more simpler. However, when we look at Activecampaign, because it is more advanced tool, they do have a lot of these different sections, and I think it can be a little bit intimidating when you are just starting out. But in general, I would say both of these platforms are fairly simple to use. Activecampaign has just a little bit more stuff. Convertkit has a little bit less and has less steps, so it's a little bit easier. The only thing is you need to understand all of the different rules and tagging. So when it comes to price, first of all, Convertkit actually has a completely free plan that doesn't cost anything. I do think there are other softwares, honestly, though, that are completely free and they are a little bit better. So again, check out the video where I compare all of the softwares. But in here you can have up to 1,000 subscribers. The one thing that you don't get with this is you don't get any automations and email sequences, which honestly, again, is such an important tool. So if you just need basic emails, basic email campaigns to be sent out, then you can go ahead and you can use the free plan, but just keep in mind that you don't have automation, which I think is essential. So after that, if you do want to have the automation, you have two different plans. You have Creator and you have Creator Pro, and I would say that for a majority of the people, Creator plan is probably going to be enough. You have all of the main tools that you need to have here, and this plan for 10,000 subscribers is going to cost you $119 a month, which honestly, compared in general to email marketing softwares, I would say is a little bit more on the pricier end. You can get a little bit of a discount if you get yearly plan, then it's going to be costing you $100 a month. When it comes to Activecampaign, it's a little bit more complicated, I would say. They have, in general, I would say, well, 3 different plans: the Light plan, Plus, and Professional. So again, for 10,000 contacts, it's going to cost you $155 per month. So that is $30 basically more expensive than Convertkit. And Plus plan is $250 and Professional is $350. The thing to keep in mind is that with the Light plan, I think this actually can work for quite a lot of people because they do include all of the different automations. You have all of the 500 plus automation recipes, and what I mentioned before, the site and event tracking, they do have that in the Light plan. So you actually get a lot of different features even with the Light plan, so that might be a viable option for you. However, what you do have to keep in mind, and I'm not going to go through all of these different things because there's quite a lot, but the important thing I would say is that if you will want to have landing pages, keep in mind that landing pages only come with a Plus plan. And also if you want to have CRM with your sales automations and all of that, depending again on your business, that's only with a Plus plan as well. So just keep in mind when choosing your plans. And when it comes to Professional plan, one thing as well to keep in mind is that split automations, that is very, very powerful. Having those A/B tests within your automations, that's only on the Plus plan, which again is $350 for 10,000 contacts. So in general, I would say when it comes to Convertkit, if you just want the main automation features and you want to perhaps have a place where you can upload your own digital products and you can sell them, then Convertkit could be a better option. I am a little bit disappointed that Convertkit doesn't track whether the emails were open or not. That is a little bit disappointing for me. So I do have some other alternatives that I prefer over Convertkit, because I do understand that Activecampaign is a lot more expensive compared to other email marketing platforms, but at the same time, you do have to understand that they do have all of these very advanced features. So if you want to see, basically have triggers if people visited specific pages, and if you want to have all of these different automation recipes, so really go very, very advanced with your email marketing, and that can bring you in a lot more money. So it might be more expensive by $30 a month, but when you think about it, those extra $30 a month can generate you extra thousands and thousands of dollars a month. So in that case, Activecampaign can be better if you really want to be very, very advanced. So I hope you find this video useful. As I said, I have special discounts and bonuses for everything that I mentioned, so all the links down below in the description. Also, do check out the video I made on all of the different email marketing platforms. It's going to be very useful, or in general, if you want some digital marketing or online business strategies and different tips, check out some of the videos on my main channel. If you found this video useful, make sure to press that thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, put on the notifications. Stay awesome, and I'll see you soon.